This video is sponsored by Squarespace, but I'll tell you more about them later. Do you think someone might be able to stick it back together?
Maybe. I think you might have to tear it open.
Okay. I had to tear up a print this week. It's always really sad to have to do this. This happens when usually someone opens the print up at home before sending it to the framer. And the paper that I use in these prints is super sensitive. It's partly what allows for the prints to be so detailed, but then it also absorbs oils and things on your hands really, really easily. So they can get damaged super quickly. Also, because they're a limited edition, I have to destroy a print if it's damaged. Because I can't have two of the same print floating around. So usually I'll destroy it myself, or I'll need people to send me proof of the artwork's being destroyed, which is sometimes amusing, mostly it's just sad. This week has been going a lot better than the last 2 weeks. I think things are slowly starting to feel more and more okay as time passes, and the main focus this week has just been coming back to the drawing. So that therapy, in the sense of spending a lot of hours and a lot of nights working on these two eye drawings, has been really, really special for me, and I think really healing. I've primarily been working on that one. I've been spending so much time trying to do the textures on the bottom of the eyelid. My expectations when it came to these drawings were, I know that they're very detail intense and they take a really long time to finish, but I think also because I've really needed to use it as a form of catharsis, I'm diving into those details and spending so much time trying to make sure things that I know no one will notice, trying to make sure those things are perfect. So for me, it's been fantastic, but the deadline is looming and I know I'm going to need to move on to the next drawing project, which I'm also so excited about. I've been taking breaks and moving into that, but that's going to be for next week's update, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. I've never really done a diptych in two eyes, and it's something I've thought about for a long time and didn't really know how I would be able to implement it. And things fell into place again, as they so often do when the timing is right. There are these contrasting elements in both drawings that actually have quite a lot of layers to them, which I don't think is really worth trying to explain, because it'll mean something for some people and it'll mean nothing for others. What I'm really excited about is the complexity and composition when having a diptych. So with the previous diptych I did, I had a lot of fun composing those pieces so individually they were working really well, and then combined with their sister piece or with the other part of them, they kind of double up on the composition and have these moments that speak to each other within the two works. And a lot of that is happening with these ones, which I'm having a lot of fun with. I've been finding these two drawings extremely satisfying, and I think that that's helped me a lot, especially over the last 2 weeks. But it feels like there's a confidence that I don't usually feel in drawings. And it's almost the first time, I think, where the idea that I had of what it would feel like to draw like this and to do it with confidence and to feel like I know what I'm doing versus the reality of it have actually been really close. I think a lot of the time people will pick up a pencil and have this idea of what drawing will be like. And then actually trying to do it is way harder than that story that we told ourselves. This is taking forever. And I think that that's been true for just so many years. And with these pieces on a very small scale, so I'm talking as I'm drawing the tiny little hairs that come out of a paw or something, those small moments, I'm feeling extremely gratified that the layering and the prep work that I did for the space is allowing me to pull those values out and to manipulate and understand the graphite in a way that makes it feel intuitive. The barrier between the way that I want it to behave and the way that it ends up behaving has gotten extremely thin, and those are almost exactly the same thing. And it feels really wonderful to be so in tune with a medium. I think it's also indicative of change, where I'm feeling like I understand this medium really well now. And almost as a result, it's this safety net that I can come back to. But I'm feeling very drawn towards sculpture and other mediums. And I think it's kind of time for me to start learning other things. I spent some time in the workshop this week also just building a little bit of a palm rest. So I had one version of it, which was actually the plate covering one of my grinder wheels that had some magnets in it, but those magnets aren't quite strong enough. And so I've set some magnets into another piece of walnut using the router and then just chiseling out all the little loose pieces of wood or protrusions. And then I cut a veneer to paste over those magnets, so all I see is just a clean piece of wood. Sticking the magnets in proved to be kind of annoying as well. They constantly were switching poles or wanting to jump around. And yeah, clamp them down. Busy waiting for that glue to dry, but I should have it back in a little bit. I'm really enjoying the contrast between the fine pencil work and then using my hands in a different way in the workshop. I was going through some of the comments on YouTube and thought I'd reply to them in this video. And then a question from Phoenix. I answered this one in YouTube, but just for anyone else who was asking, I mentioned a precision eraser in the previous video. And the one that I'm using is Faber-Castell's precision eraser, which I had the opportunity to test out and make some of the promotional material that they used for that product, which was super fun. And at first I had my hesitations about that eraser. I was used to the Tombow Mono Zero, which was pretty much the only one on the market that was small and could do that kind of erasing. But since then, there have been quite a lot of applications where I found the precision eraser was a lot more effective. The actual material that they use in the eraser is a little bit harder, which means if I sharpen it on my mechanical hand grinder thing, I can get a really fine tip, and that tip stays sharper for slightly longer. And then because the material is slightly harder than the Tombow Mono Zero, somehow it just is erasing a little bit better for me. But these things are all, there's a lot of variables to this. So the kind of graphite you're using, the kind of paper you're using, and the precision eraser from Faber-Castell are doing it perfectly for me. Got a comment from Noah Jameson with some really lovely words, and then just asking what I listen to while I draw. So you heard the audiobook in the background. Simon flagged that and told me that people would notice it, and I was like, nah, well, they'll never notice it. So yeah, that's 1 point to you, Simon. I mostly listen to audiobooks while I'm drawing. And yeah, lately I've really enjoyed listening to fantasy to just completely escape and go into another world. And I've been re-listening to The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, which has been really cool and incredible series. And someone asking me to speak slower. I try so hard to speak slower. I race through these things. And I think it's because sitting here trying to be articulate makes me nervous, and I find myself just racing through these videos. But often I'm trying to remind myself to talk slower. So thanks for the reminder. I'll keep trying. Just a quick word and a huge thank you to this video sponsor, Squarespace. As you know, they've been sponsoring a lot of my videos on this channel, and they've helped me maintain this YouTube channel, which has also helped me maintain my drawing practice, which I've been very, very grateful for. I first started working with them really early on in my drawing career. I was looking for a beautiful way to showcase my work, and I didn't have time to learn HTML and to try and build a beautiful functional website that would make it easy for collectors to find me and get in touch with me. And I felt that Squarespace did that effortlessly. I never had to patch or upgrade anything. I could register a domain with them and set up an online store. And most importantly, I could design a portfolio and show my work the way that I wanted to. Oh no, we lost the light. Also, every time I got stuck, their amazing support team helped me out instantly. So if you're looking at building a website, give Squarespace a try. And if you decide that you love them, use this offer code and get 10% off your first purchase. My lights are dying. maybe we can put it back on. Um, yeah, this week has been wonderfully relaxed compared to the last little while. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions around the drawing techniques that I'm using, or even stuff you've seen in like the previous videos. I'm always trying to answer as many questions as I can, either in the comments or in next week's video. So yeah, next week is going to be pretty exciting. I'm busy planning the next drawing to get stuck into as soon as these are finished. And that process has taken me on quite a journey, which I'm really keen to share with you guys. So if you're keen to see how that planning process and the conceptualizing slowly unfolds, make sure you're subscribed to not miss out. And yeah, if you found this helpful or entertaining, leave a like. It helps the channel out in a huge way. As always, thanks for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.